Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic rider. Today I'm on Asher. He's a spotted saddle horse that's for sale, and I'm going to take him out on the trail by himself. He's papered, 9 years old. You can contact me for the asking price if you're interested, and I'll get some gait videos so you can see him move better during the week. He can flat walk, he can do a running walk, he can do saddle gait, and he canters. He's mostly been out with other horses, so if the person's going to ride alone much, you should be a lead person. Good horsemanship skills just to give him some support until he knows what his job is, but following he's just fine. And you saw the other video of his in the big group. We had like 7 people. We switched all the spots up, and that's when I first took him on to sell him from the owner, and he did quite well. Okay. Alright, so we're heading down the trail. There's a horse behind the trees here. All the horses kind of look till they see what it is. Remember, they don't see how we see, so even though it's a horse, it's not very clear to them. They don't see the details, so I'm going to stop and let them look. I don't like to let them look while we're walking. Gaited horses can do so many things. They can make them trip, but he's not trippy. Are you?
No, you're just cute. You're just cute.
He's very cute. He has the coolest markings. He has a medicine hat, and all the native Indians always thought that was good luck, and it would be a horse that would take good care of you. So again, I think he's mostly been ridden in groups, but he's very willing to go out here for me. But again, I have kind of calm, dominant nature. There's a horse hiding behind a tree here. It's white, so it could pop out at any moment. So just remember, when you're riding, you want to be an active rider. I'm always talking about don't be a passenger. These are not motorcycles or vehicles, so you do want to pay attention. You pay attention when you ride those things, so I don't know why people get on horses and think they don't have to pay attention at all, but they don't. So he's doing good. This roan over here is being an idiot, if you can see. And Asher's doing very well, but I did do what I do to the other horses and tie them up and have the horses run behind him, and he is doing quite well with that. So that always helps, so when you get out here, you're not nervous if the horses start running, because the horses in these paddocks get bored and they start running and trying to entice the ones I'm on to come play with them. So this is the first time he's been out here, so you'll see he's kind of looking around because he's unsure, but that's normal. But he's staying smooth, even though he's just a little bit anxious. So again, I think he just needs someone to help guide him. So the scarecrow's right there blowing. He's doing good with that. We're going up the stairs. Always put your hands forward when you're going up that stuff, and lean forward and get off their back to free it up, just to help them. So he's from Kentucky, so that means he's mostly used to going down trails in the woods. You know, they might have rode him down the roads too, but they're not used to our trails, and I don't know if he got ridden in farmland or what. So I'm always testing them to see what they know and what they're comfortable with. So now that he's up here, he's a lot more comfortable with the trail versus going by that stuff he had never seen before, but I'm sure this looks normal to him, so he's like, I'm okay. So again, he's just 9. I still consider that on the younger side of horses. This is the very narrow part, so he's just checking it out, and I'm letting him put his head down so he can figure it out. He's doing a good job. Good boy. So it takes time when you get a horse from the Midwest, and again, their trails aren't the same as yours unless you live in the Midwest. It's going to take some time for that horse to adjust, understand what stuff's out here, and that it's not going to kill them, and for them to just get confident in themselves and get confident in their new owner. So just for people with new horses, you just want to take your time. There's no rush, you know. First, make sure you can ride in the arena. That goes well. Do that for a couple of weeks once you get your new horse, and then, you know, ride him around the pasture for a couple of weeks, and then start going out on the trail. Go in a group, but go in a small group with people that are not crazy and will help you. And then once you can do that well, you can go out with more horses. Once you can do that well, you can try to take them out by yourself if you think you know the horse and you'll be able to help them enough. Because again, in groups, they usually are following the other horses. They trust the other horses. They know they're not going to get them into trouble, so they don't trust people as much. And so it just takes time for them to believe you and think that it's okay just to go out with you. So again, it's all a learning process, and it just takes time for the horse to get comfortable. So these feather plants have a lot of motion. They can spook some horses. You're kind of looking at it, but overall he's doing well. And again, for going by himself, you know, there he got a little nervous. All he did was kind of jump in place, so that's okay. I think overall he's doing very well. He's not rearing up, he's not bucking, he didn't fight me to leave the barn. He's just unsure of his circumstances, and that's just normal for a horse that hasn't been ridden out by itself. So now we're going downhill. But he's pretty sure-footed, and when we went on that trail ride, he did really well. He's done well since. I've had him back home. What else can I tell you about him? He's not super energetic, but he does have some energy to him, so I would say he's not a beginner horse. He might be able to do advanced beginner if you have a good trainer. It's going to help you along. And I would say he should be ridden 3 times a week or more if possible. I think with, you know, he's very friendly and sociable and curious, and horses like that, if you don't work them enough, get bored and can become destructive and break things, like pull the post off your fence, eat your fence, knock things over, knock your grooming box over, all sorts of stuff like that, because they're bored. So this would be a great horse for somebody who likes to trail ride at least 2 times a week, if not more. And if he's not out in pasture running around all the time, that you should round pen him before you get on him, just to let him get that extra energy out. Say it's hot and I round penned him, he didn't do that much. It's usually not hot here, but it's about 85, so that's hot for us. And for his gaits, he's pretty easy. For his flat walk and his running walk, you just keep his head down and just alternate your legs one and then the other. He's quite good. For his saddle gait, you just got to get a little bit more tension in his back and spine, but don't let his head come up too much. And he's quite comfortable. So there's something scared him. He just spooked in place, but I do have contact on. Okay? So in the beginning, you know, you want to help your horse, not leave him out on his own. So this is his first time out here, so I want to be here for him. So I got my reins short and I'm riding. I'm not just sitting here kind of communicating with him that he's okay. And you know I'm breathing because I'm talking to you the whole time. Okay? Let's get up a little bit further. Okay, so we're going to stop. Good job. Good job, buddy. All right. So he stands well, even by himself. That was good. I'm going to tell you everything I know about these horses, but everybody rides different. So I can't tell people if it's going to be a fit for you unless I actually know you and know how you ride. That's your part. I can tell you everything I know about the horse, and then again, the rest is up to you, and it's all a learning experience. It takes time to get used to new horses. They don't know you like your old horse does, and they're not gonna cover for you like the old horse did, because he figured out, oh, she meant this, but she gave me the wrong signal, so I'll just do that for her. The new horse is gonna be like, you didn't do that right, and I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? It's just like at a job, when you're like, the boss said to do something and you knew they wanted something else. You just go do it. The person goes, like the other coworker goes, they didn't say that, and you're like, yeah, but that's what he meant, so I just did it because I know what he needs me to do. Okay? So it's the same kind of thing with horses. Your old horse is gonna know you're making mistakes and just cover for you And the new horse is going to be like, nope, don't know what you're doing. I'll just sit here, wait. So Asher has a pretty nice headset. If you have a little contact, I'm not holding very hard. He's doing well. He picks his legs up high enough. He's not catching anything. And he pays attention pretty good to the footing. So that's nice. Okay. Now we're going by all these feather things, and you'll see he's better now that we've passed some. Oh, okay. Now let's try a little backup. Good job. Now some horses, they're upset when you're out here alone and you back up and they go up in the air and they rear up. So he did quite nicely, didn't refuse or anything, just said, oh, you want to back up? Okay. So I think he's got a pretty good temperament. He is very curious, he's playful, you know, so he could use a buddy to play with, run around with. And I don't think any horses should be left alone, so I would not recommend have him all alone by himself. Alright, so this hill has a lot of sand on it. The footing gives out. It's a good test to see if they can dig their feet in and get us up the hill. And you'll see there's a big dirt pile right up in our way. So even though I'm leaning forward, I still have contact. He's trucking up here like it's nothing. He's a very good climber. I trust him to get me out of places if I got stuck, which I always do. But he handled his feet very well, so always test that. So we are way up. He's got good endurance level. We're looking for an endurance horse. This might work. And he has had a recent vet check. So I send you that if you're interested. Seems like the people in Kentucky, or the other people owned him before this lady, did a pretty good job. They got the basics on him. He's not super forward, you know, he backs off. He will go forward, but seems like he's got some decent training on him. And if you get him, there won't be another horse that looks like him. He's very cool looking. Now they thought he, you know, is a little fast, but I believe they're riding with quarter horses, and I don't find him very fast at all compared, because I've been on dog field trial horses that are super fast. So to me, he's nice. He will go forward or he will go slow. I don't think he is quarter horse speed. So yeah, if you're riding with really slow quarter horses, because of his stride, he has decent stride, you're probably going to have to keep waiting for your friends. But if you're riding with gaited people, you'll be just fine. So he engages himself up the hill. We're just going to circle around this tree and go back, because it's very hot out. Did good turning back towards home. He didn't get cuckoo. Many horses do. Maybe he's talked to the other horses that told him Gaye always works you when you get home, and then she ties you up, so don't go fast. Okay, so now we're going downhill. So he's going just a little fast, so I just held him, and then I release, held him, release. So I'm just doing half halts. Otherwise, he was going to go fast down the hill. And again, that's not always their fault. You know, the people who rode him might have gone fast down the hill, so the horse doesn't know. But they just think, well, they always go fast, so let's go fast. So let's do some of our basic arena work out here. So I'm just going to do the serpentine. Now we're going down that sandy part. So he's not missing a step, it's just a little faster than I like. This is better, so he did listen. We're doing pretty good. So he's doing very good in the deep sand. And another downhill, but he's done good with all the downhills. Again, just a little fast when we started the downhills. So, but he's understanding he's supposed to go slower. This is the skinny part. You did good. So now we're going to go down the steps in a minute. He sees very well. They're back there when I didn't have it on. There's 2 holes, and he looked right at those 2 holes, which a lot of horses don't notice. Did that well. Did that well. So again, it takes a little time for them to figure out their new job. And again, I don't think he's been ridden alone much at all, if any. And so he's just got to learn how to do this. So he's not one that's going to pack somebody alone on the trail. You have to help him. I wouldn't expect most 9-year-olds to pack anybody, so some can, but otherwise, again, usually 12 and up, 15 and up are the ones that are usually going to be the packers, because they got the experience, and if someone trained and rode them well, they know what their job is. Like that Icelandic I had knew exactly what his job was. Okay, this guy knows part of his job. He knows the group part, but not the alone so much. But still going home. I don't know if you remember my horse Tilly coming home in the beginning by herself, and she was 15 but hadn't been ridden a lot. A little cuckoo. He's not cuckoo. He's just a little fast. But that's why I would say not a beginner, intermediate, somebody with horsemanship skills. And if you're going to ride in groups, you're probably good, but if you're going to ride alone, you should be able to ride and help the horse. Alright, so we're going to get back, and we're going to do some work around the barn, so he doesn't think that's the best place to be. That's what you should do with all your horses if you ride from home, is when you get back, they were a little fast, even if it was because they were nervous, work them back there, show them being home isn't the best place to be. Now that you see I've turned and I'm going by all the horses in pasture, he's gone back to being Mr. Mellow, and this is what most of them do, because they're more comfortable around their friends. He didn't know if I was going to kill him. He doesn't know me very well. But overall, I think he did pretty well. So now we're walking around the barn. We're just flat walking. I don't know if the dogs are going to come out or not. So when you come back to the barn and I say ride, then that means don't just walk and go slow. You don't want them to be resting. You want them to know it's work back at the barn. So flat walk, running walk, saddle gait, canter, any of those things. So I'm going to go around the barn a couple times, make sure he's okay with all this stuff. Now we're going to walk around this way. I'm going to speed him up a little bit. But he's doing good with all the barn stuff here.